2 new held items have been added to Pokemon Unite. So of course there are going to be a lot of questions about how should I use them, what do they even do, where do I buy them, and a lot of other questions that I kind of want to talk about in this video, give some first impressions, and recommend some Pokemon on where you can maybe use it on, and if that's even worth using these items. So first of all, how do you get these items? You go into the shop, into the second category, which is this one right here, the Eos Emporium, and then we go towards held items, and you can buy them either here for gold or for tickets. So one of them is an attacker item pretty much, or damage item, and the other one is going to be a defender item. So let's first talk about Charging Charm. What does it do? You charge up pretty much this item by moving or by basic attacking. Every basic attack charges up, every movement charges up as well. The faster you move, the faster you charge it up. And also dashing. I wish later showed more in try mode as well, in practice mode. Dashing as well, dashing moves will also build up this item. Once it gets to fully charged stacks, you do bonus damage on your next basic attack or a ability as well. It's very important to know that this is based on physical attack. So on special attack Pokemon, this item is going to be super useless because the damage is 40 base damage and then 70% of your attack damage, stat. So it's completely going to be a physical attack item, pretty much like Choice Specs is for special attacker. This is pretty much the Choice Specs version for physical attacker. So very good with a lot of attack speed, or very good with a lot of dashes or move speed. So like Dodrio move speed, right? Lucario dashes with E speed, or just Cinder Ace or Dragapult with a lot of basic attacking. Then for the second item, we have Resonant Guard, which is going to be a very strong defender, or maybe support item. It gives you and an ally a shield upon doing damage. It has a 10-second cooldown, and you get a shield that is based on 100% base HP, so just a 100, HP shield, and then 6% of your max HP as well to you and an ally. The question is, which I don't even know myself yet, if the 6% of HP is based on yourself or the ally when it goes on to an ally. But it seems like a pretty strong item. 10%, I think it can pretty much replace maybe Buddy Berry or Focus Pin in the future. This item seems pretty promising. And again, something you can probably play on Defender or on supports a lot. So now, what does it look like in games? You can see on the bottom right, you see the item and how many stacks it has. You need to get to 100. So you can see moving it around, builds it up. And once we get to 100, our next move or basic attack will do extra damage. So even on moves, it's going to work like this. And then you can see if I'm standing still, nothing happens. And if I'm going to dash again, it will also build up. So every time you gain a distance, a good amount, it will build up. Then every time you move as well. And then also every basic attack gives you 9 stacks. So you can see right here, basic attacking +9, +9, +9, +9. And we can dash around and build it up even faster. And then it does just bonus damage on our basic attacks. Pretty much like in Choice Specs or Razor Claw, just bonus damage. And yeah, we can build it up by either being fast as well. So as an example right here, you can see right now it's pretty slow, but if you go into a Flux Stone as well, you can see anything that gives you move speed will also increase it. And then also long dashes like this, you can see if we gain a lot of distance, it's currently at 10, suddenly it's at 40, it's 70. So if we gain a lot of distance with certain moves, we will also be able to build it up by just dashing around. So it's also showcased with a lot of attack speed. So right now you can see if I attack a lot, it's gonna be up pretty fast. You also want to move always. You don't want to stand still if this is up, because the moment you stand still, you don't charge it up, right? So you always want to make sure you use your left cursor and build it up. And then it doesn't take too many attacks for us to build it up, and always get a bit of a bonus damage out of our Pokemon. Now for the tank item. So if you hit white Pokemon, it will not proc. It will only proc after hitting enemy Pokemon. Doesn't matter if it's a basic attack. If you can see the sheet is now up, it will happen to be an ally. And you can see it goes on a 10-second cooldown. So very easy to proc. It's also good that it only procs against enemy Pokemon. And the shield might not seem like a lot, but over the course of a game, especially laning phase and team fights, I feel like it has very high chance of just adding up over time. I think Gudra's probably going to be good Pokemon for this as well, just because Gudra with Muddy Water doesn't have a lot of sustain. So this just gives us a bit of additional sustain in team fights. It doesn't last all too long though, but of course the shield will mostly be gone very fast anyways. So let's talk more about how good is this item really. Because of course it's going to rival a lot of items, right? If you look at attacker Pokemon, physical attacker Pokemon, it rivals with Rapid Fire Scarf. Let me try to make a better circle. Rapid Fire Scarf, right? It rivals with Muscle Band, which Muscle Band is always a very OP item. It rivals with Scope Lens. So against these items, of course, this is for physical attacker. I feel like it's quite difficult for it to be better. There's certain scenarios where you can probably replace Rapid Fire Scarf, But Scope Lens in general, I feel like will always just out-damage it straight up. In case of what Scope Damage increases your crit damage, your crit attack, and also has a passive for every 1 second. If you crit, you can do extra damage depending on 75% of your attack damage. So Scope Lens doesn't just crit, it also does extra damage on your basic attacks on top of it, just like that. So there's a lot of items already just for physical attacker that drive with this. Of course, some might even play Floatstone. But there are certain scenarios where Rapid Fire Scarf might be replaceable because the Pokemon has too much attack speed. For example, Phantom Force Dragapult, Blaze Kick Cinderace, and Razor Leaf Decidueye. On those Pokemon, I think Rapid Skyfire Scarf could be replaced. The only problem is, for someone like Cinderace as an example, from level 1 until level 11, this will still be super good. After level 11, this could be better. But before level 11 on Cinderace, this just helps you to get to this point. Phantom Force as well, at some point you have so much attack speed, it doesn't matter if you have Rapid Fire Scarf or not, you will literally not notice it. Same for Razor Leaf. So on those Pokemon, it could be replaced. But in Pokemon like Dralodon, Greninja, I just don't see how this is gonna outvalue this item, right? And if you look at Speedster items, on Speedsters we have Razor Claw, right? We have Attack Weight, we have maybe even the Curse item, even the Curse item also on Physical Attacker, right? Even sometimes Rapid Fire Scarf could be a thing. We have Scope Lens for someone like Machamp, we have Muscle Band, Energy Amplifier. There are so many items that I feel like are probably better than this, right? So my like weakness policy as well. For example, like Lucario. On Lucario, right, you run Attack Weight, you run weakness policy, and then you either run Razor Claw or Muscle Band, right? Which of those items can you replace for this one? Attack Weight makes E-Speed do a lot of damage. Attack Weight with weakness policy makes your E-Speed do even more damage. And then for last item, Razor Claw has a much lower cooldown and also makes your basic attack slow, right? Even though with Lucario it's quite nice, because Lucario has a dash and a basic attack, which means every single E-Speed gives you like 20 to 25 charge, which is absolutely amazing, right? Like Lucario with E-Speed is one of the best Pokemon to charge this one up. But Razor Claw will be also up on every single E-Speed, right? So by the time you get this up one time, you probably E-Speeded like 4 or 5 times. This will be up 1 time, and this will be up 3 to 5 times. So the question is, does this really outvalue? So this will be up 1 time, while Razor Claw will be up 3 to 5 times maybe, right? Especially, it only has a 1 second cooldown. And it also slows on top of it. So I just don't feel like that this is, you know, like a good comparison. Or like, it's a good comparison. I don't think it's like a good replacement for those kind of Pokemon. So it's quite difficult. But here, if you want to try out this item, which I think is very fun, there's a lot of very fun things you can experiment with. I really liked it on Absol as well. Like Pursuit Absol is, I feel like, one of the better Pokemon for it. If you really want to go for it. Because Pursuit gives you move speed, right? So Absol is very, very good for it. Or not very, very good for it. But it's quite solid, I would say. Is something you can try. Lucario, I think, is quite fun. And then, you know, Cinderace again, Decidueye, and Dragapult with a lot of attack speed is quite nice. Dojo is very fun with it, even though agility is currently bugged. Zoroark, like, those are all fine. Mimikyu. The longer your Pokemon travels a distance as well, the more it will be charged up. It even works on Dragon Knight Unite move. It works on Mimikyu's Phantom Force. The longer you travel, the more you will build up the energy. So it's quite an interesting item. It's quite fun to play around. I think it also can be potentially good on Decidueye with Spirit Shackle, because it just gives you a Spirit Shackle more damage. You just drop Floatstone for it. Like, it can be good on Pokemon that only have 2 items that are 100% required, right? Like on Decidueye, Muscle Band, Attack Weight is required. It has a 3rd open spot. So this could probably be an item that can rival other items for it, right? Absol as well. If you play Pursuit, Scope Lens, Razor Claw are a must-have. The 3rd one can be Floatstone, Focus Band, Muscle Band, Attack Weight, anything. There's no really set-in-stone 3rd head item. So it can always just replace those and be something worth trying. But I think all these Pokemon, you can give it a try. I think you're going to have a good time. It's very fun to experiment with it. Is it going to be meta? Probably not. Is it something that gives you a lot more burst damage? I think we have to wait for like Marth. Yeah, we have to wait for Marth to really understand how much damage this item does throughout the entire game. I'm going to try to maybe just count how often it procced in one game. But in general, I feel like it just right now feels like a worse Razor Claw, except for maybe like summons like Cinderace, Decidueye again. Of course, on those Razor Claws, quite bad. I mean, it's still fine, gives you crit rate and stuff, but it's nothing too amazing. So on those Pokemon, of course, you know, you can consider this one. I think on Dojo as well, it could be quite nice. You can run Attack Weight, Razor Claw, and this item for a lot more burst damage. So like the positive thing is it gives you a lot more burst damage. I liked it on Leafeon. I forgot Leafeon in here. Leafeon. I liked it on Leafeon a lot as well. It makes your Razor Blade do a good amount of more damage. And it's also easy to charge up because Leafeon is quite fast. So you can always run around, make your Solar Blade, not even Leaf Blade, Solar Blade do more damage. And I think it's quite nice. And again, for the tank item, I think the tank item will just be pretty much good on every single defender. You can have Focus Band or Body Barrier on. You can just try it out. I think it can be super good on every single defender Pokemon. And I think defenders are going to have a good time with this one. Just makes you a bit more tankier. Is it in the long run better than Focus Band or Body Barrier? Again, we will see. It's quite early to tell, but I just wanted to give my first thoughts on these items. They're nothing game-changing, but they're fun to experiment with, and they seem to be quite alright. Nothing that you necessarily need, but something you can 100% try out in your games and maybe find some nice bit with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, this video. Hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!